Hey guys, it's WrestlePoint here, and this is our very first podcast. It's August 21st, 2021, and what a better night, what a better day to start the podcast business because yesterday was probably one of the biggest days in pro wrestling history. CM Punk returned, but today we are talking about SummerSlam and our SummerSlam predictions. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Dominic Brendo, and I got into wrestling in 2008. Was the first time I ever watched anything like that. It was the first introduction to American TV, and I fell in love with it ever since. And I fell in love with CM Punk, so I'm very happy. My favorite wrestler of all time came back.
And I'm Eric Thomas. I've been a wrestling fan pretty much my whole life. I was mostly casual until about 2009, 2010 was when I really got into it. Started not missing an episode of Raw and SmackDown. Started really following the indies, finding all my little indie darlings. To now, wrestling's kind of a it's almost a religion for me basically. And my favorite wrestler is Randy Orton. Just love. I think he's the smoothest mover, smoothest worker I think in the business. And there's no gimmick you can give him that he doesn't turn into gold.
All right. I'm Cody Morin. My favorite wrestler is Daniel Bryan. I've watched wrestling since like 2004. I The funny thing is I knew SmackDown forever. I didn't catch Raw until like 3 years later. So I was just a SmackDown guy. But I'm excited to start this podcast, start talking about wrestling because I'm not a real big indie guy like these guys, but I'm in the WWE, AEW stratosphere, but let's get crazy.
Hell yeah.
So do you want to talk about AEW first a little bit before we get into SummerSlam? Or because Dom, I know you were a very big CM Punk fan.
I'm a huge CM Punk fan. I've been waiting for this for 7 years. I caught up with all the news, all the speculations, all the little teasers. I paid attention to the t-shirts that Kenny Omega wore in Dynamite, to everything. Yesterday it was really hard to know what to expect, but I think they did it the right way. Just have him come out there, huge pop. This was the biggest pop I have ever experienced in watching pro wrestling. So it was fantastic. I wanted to cry, I wanted to laugh, I wanted to scream. He's finally back. It's like I was on call with these guys last night, and I was like, this is like Jesus coming back to like Murph and all the Christians. Okay, that might be a little controversial, but that's how it felt to me. It was great. They hit a home run.
I completely agree that there are a million different things that people have been saying about how they would book CM Punk to return. Like a lot of people were saying, like there were people that were saying, MJF should come out to Cult of Personality and just get a ton of heat, and that's a good thing. But at the end of the day, you just have to think about AEW they're not pretending to be conventional. They're pretty transparent, and there's like it's for their fans, it's for the pop, and with Dynamite they've shown that they're all about starting the show off hot, and there's no hotter way to start off that show. And now they've had two Rampage shows, and both shows they've started off really really hot. You had a title change on the first episode, you had CM Punk returning on the second, and that's the brand. Start off hot and try to keep it up. And so I think I was one of the people that was saying if Punk comes, Punk should close. But after seeing him open, it's hard to really complain about it because it was so perfect, and the energy just stayed there, which I really didn't think it would, but it did, and it was awesome.
So I had a different opinion when I first saw it. I thought, like Eric, I thought CM Punk should have closed, but I also now I'm thinking of like those matches that would have been before. The CM Punk chants would just flooded the arena all night,
Yeah.
and there would be no point of having that show without having CM Punk open. But I do think they could have done another way besides someone come out like MJF. I would have loved if MJF came out and just got insane heat, and then CM Punk came up. I feel like that would have been a better story, but I can't complain about how it actually went about.
He gave
Mm-hmm.
he
And
gave
yeah,
yeah. Go ahead, Eric.
go ahead, Don.
Oh, I was gonna say he gave Britt Baker a big rub. He gave Darby Allin a big rub, and obviously we know that Darby Allin's his first feud. So I think he got those guys over right away. Like imagine you being a upcoming star, and then like 5 years later, somebody tells you CM Punk returns to wrestling and he's gonna have the first feud with you. Like that's huge. So congrats to Darby on that because it's astronomical, honestly.
Yeah, and I was gonna mention what you mentioned about, he knows what he's there for, and I think that the promo that he cut, in a lot of ways, I think it's not exactly what people were expecting, because here's the thing: people forget, like, okay, yeah, he's been a huge star in wrestling even for the 7 years he's gone, but at this point, him returning, what's he, 42 years? He's 42 now or something like that, 42, 43.
Yeah,
he doesn't have, like, he's gonna have ring rust, and then once he shakes the ring rust off, he's only gonna have so many years to be a good in-ring performer before that starts to trail off. So, but he came in not trying to be like a world beater. Like, I think a lot of people are expecting him to come in and say, I'm CM Punk, I'm back, give me the title. But he came in saying, I'm going to help all these young people. So, like Dom, like you said, the very first words out of his mouth was he put Britt Baker over, which is great. And then he put over Darby Allin, which is great. Actually, after that promo, I wouldn't be surprised if CM Punk does the job to Darby Allin at All Out. And it's so, I think it's not an indictment of how they're going to use him, but I just think that promo, I think, was very different than the way that kind of billboards how they might be using him. It's a huge surprise, at least to me. It's not necessarily how I might use him, but it sounds like it's a really good direction they're going to go with it.
CM Punk is old, but he is still 3 years younger than the WWE champion right now. So
that's true.
So they have. I am interested to see what happens in that match, because are you going to let CM Punk win his first AEW match, or are you going to put over Darby Allin even more than you already are? So it's going to be very interesting. I'm in the impression that I think CM Punk is going to lose, and then he's going to turn heel. I that's my prediction right now, because I think I love a heel Punk. There's nothing better than CM Punk as a heel.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's true.
My only problem in this is just it's the type of wrestling fan I am. I'm really old school wrestling fan, where, like, I don't think you should have heels that are going to get cheered no matter what they do. And Punk's just going to it's CM Punk. He's going to get cheered no matter what he does. And this is what, they've teased that Darby was going to be Punk's first opponent for a while. And I've been saying the whole time, I think it's a mistake, because now, Darby's one of their top baby faces that they're trying to push. And now you have him against the biggest star in the bid. Like, for all intents, CM Punk can't lose his first match. That's just, even if he comes in, like, even if he comes in saying, I'm going to help the young guys, I feel like he can't lose his first match. But then again, are you really going to have one of your top baby faces now lose on pay-per-view? It's just, I don't know. I think I've thought for a long time it's a weird pairing. If it leads to a Punk heel turn, that's great. It's just, for me, it's like, now you have a heel it's a heel. People are supposed to not like him, but you're having a heel that literally no one's gonna not love. So it's for me, it's weird booking, but I understand that my perspective on a lot of these things is from a very old school point of view.
Oh no, yeah, I get that. I think it would be cool if CM Punk like beat Darby Allin, just like beat him after the match, and then CM Punk cuts a promo saying, I left for a reason. I don't really like any of you. I left for a reason. I only came back for the money.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. But let's go ahead and get into the SummerSlam card.
Let's get into SummerSlam, yeah.
It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, so SummerSlam, we have unless anything gets added last minute, there's nothing's been confirmed as far as what's going to be on the pre-show, I don't believe, but right now we're looking at a 10 match card right now, and I have the card in front of me right now. I ordered them based on from kind of least interesting to most interesting, as far as, like, title stipulations, then just how interesting the feud is. So the first match on the card is Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie with Doudrop, and I don't know about you guys, but I think we all know who's going to win, and I don't know how invested I'm going to be in this, because I don't want to see Alexa Bliss anymore. I
hope it's a pre-show match, because I have no interest in watching this. Watch it just to talk about it, yeah. God, I get your thing about Alexa. I love Alexa. I just think I just wish she wouldn't be in this character anymore. It's not her fault that she's still doing this. If she had a choice, I feel like she would be back to the old Alexa Bliss. That was just,
yeah. When I say I didn't want to see any more Alexa Bliss, I mean this character. I love Mean Girl Alexa Bliss, but Fiend Alexa Bliss is just, I hate it so much. I really do.
I'll give my prediction and I'll let you guys go. I don't know. Eva is on every TV episode, but I'm still going Alexa. I just
Yeah.
I just don't want. I don't know. Eva Marie's not a good wrestler to me. She's not interesting at all to me. Dewdrop is more interesting to me than Alexa is. That's saying a lot.
That's true. That's true. For me, I mean, I feel like Alexa is like a cash. No, I wouldn't say cash cow because they're only trying to sell the Ellie dolls to the public.
More or less.
Yeah, that's my bad. Lily. I don't even remember that damn doll's name because I really don't care for the doll. I think it's a bit ridiculous. It's The Fiend was great. Alexa with The Fiend, good. Without The Fiend, I don't like so much. I predict this to be a pre-show match. If it isn't, I'm gonna be. Then the world is gonna explode because it should never be on any card. To be honest, it should be a Raw send-off match. To be honest,
especially a major pay-per-view like Summerslam.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna be a 2-hour pre-show. It looks like, but
is it?
No clue. It's just a 1 hour so far, I know. But yeah, I guess Alexa's gonna win. I'm really not interested in this match.
Yeah. So here's my thing. I was reading. I don't know if you guys have read, but this show, apparently, the city of Las Vegas has asked WWE to shorten it because of the Pacquiao fight. Oh. So that I think that's going to mean a lot of things as far as matches are going to get cut. I think we're going to see a lot more squash matches on this card. We might not, and given that we might not, I don't know if we're going to see a pre-show because I think that's just an easy way to cut time off is just to not have the pre-show and then just have some shorter matches on the main card. But even if they're having a pre-show, I don't think this would be a pre-show match, even though it's Eva Marie. This Alexa Bliss character does get featured way too prominently on TV every week for her to be in the pre-show. So unfortunately, I think this is going to be a main card match. Oh, no. There's no way Eva Marie wins. There's no way that here's what I think is going to happen. Like the Dewdrop and the doll have been big parts of this storyline. So I think that it's going to be some sort of the doll's going to make Dewdrop do something to cost Eva Marie the match, and they're going to continue. Even Dewdrop are going to continue their little why can't you do anything right when I'm telling you to do all my dirty work for me kind of thing. And it's Eva Marie, and she obviously she's not a good wrestler. I want to be more complimentary of her because she's from Walnut Creek, which is 15 minutes from where I live. So I want to be a homer for her, but she's not very good, and she can't work a long match. So, and this Alexa Bliss character can't be in long matches because they always have to poke it up with the supernatural stuff. This match, I hope this match goes no longer than 5 or 6 minutes, and yeah, Alexa Bliss is going to win.
Are we sure that WWE is going to agree with Las Vegas though? They already have the venue. They already have the venue. They don't care.
Vince McMahon's like, well, I already have it, bro. I need to finish this.
I mean, I could see them kind of not necessarily having to agree, but I think they'd be strongly inclined to agree because Las Vegas, it's a huge market, and I'm sure they're going to want to do repeat business at Allegiant Stadium. Yeah, and if they're going to push back here their first time Allegiant Stadium, it's probably going to be harder to get that business again.
Yeah, I can see it.
I have a sneaking suspicion. This is a bold claim that Lily's gonna possess Dewdrop, and Dewdrop's gonna come into the match.
That's kind of like what Eric just said. I said that.
Oh, you did?
There's gonna be supernatural.
Well, yeah. I mean, playing out Lily's gonna become Dewdrop. She's gonna dress up as Dewdrop's gonna dress up as Lily. All of that stuff. She's gonna come. Dewdrop's gonna come, and then she's gonna be, and then the lights are gonna flicker, and then she's gonna look like Lily, and then she's gonna beat up Eva Marie, and then she's gonna be Alexa Bliss's sidekick for a little bit. That's a bold claim, I know, but
I mean, it's a bold claim. It's not impossible. The only thing is, if that happens, that guarantees that we're going to see Alexa Bliss like this for a long, long time because now she's going to be starting a stable. And
the reason I think that is because the reason, I mean, this is going back to further to a different match with Nikki Ash. They want to sell merchandise and they want to try to do it through the women's division, it seems like. And with the Lily doll, I think that's what they're going to try to attempt.
Well, she because I know the Fiend was moving a lot of merchandise, and I don't really look at those metrics very much. Is Alexa Bliss even moving merchandise the way the Fiend was in this role? Do we know?
I'm not.
She's definitely not drawing.
I wouldn't think so. I would think she would.
She's definitely not drawing the ratings. Her segments definitely are not drawing the ratings the Fiends were.
I mean, in the end of the day, it seems like WWE doesn't really care about if the creative is good or any of that. They care more about like making money. That's why they have Nikki Ash with the title. That's why I believe they're gonna.
Yeah, we'll get into that because I have some thoughts about Nikki Ash.
All right, let's move on to the next match then.
Yeah, moving on down the card. The next one I have. So this is one. I'm not. So when it was announced that Las Vegas wants them to shorten the show, there was some talk that they were gonna move some matches off the card. And one thing I read, I don't know if this was ever a serious thing that was gonna happen, but I read that they might have pulled the SmackDown Women's Championship off the card and had it on Friday's SmackDown, which obviously didn't happen. So my next hope was that they were going to move this match off the card. It's Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal with the stipulation Veer and Shanky have been barred from ringside.
Oh boy.
All right, so who wants to? Dom, you want to go first?
I'll go first on this one. So the thing about Drew McIntyre, I really like him as a face. I really do. I think he has a potential to be such a complex character. Like he has a bloodlust of beating people up, but he can still be like a big face. Like I think he really works well under the WWE system. And it was really a shame that during the pandemic he had his biggest run. And now with live crowds, he has to swing a sword around like with Jinder. I'm sure we can talk about Jinder and McIntyre all day of how missed potential is, but right now this is the story with the sword. It's really hard to see any outcome that's not McIntyre winning. But McIntyre is probably gonna squash him, wave the sword around. He's gonna hold it up. People are gonna cheer, and that's gonna be about it. Because it's McIntyre, I don't think it's not gonna be on the pre-show. I can see this being in second. Not at all. Not the opening match, because I feel like the opening match is important, but the second match, I feel like the second match is kind of like the bad. That's what the bad card. Mm-hmm. That's the worst.
Yeah, there's gonna be somewhere in the early to middle parts of the card.
So yeah, McIntyre wins for me. It's pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. And I'm actually going to disagree with you a little bit, Dom. I like Drew as a face. I don't like him as this kind of face. Because here's the thing, a lot of people say, I love Drew as a heel. I think when he came in as a heel next to Dolph Ziggler, I think he was awesome. And people will say like, okay, like they say this about WWE fans all the time. You say you want somebody, then we give him to you, and then you don't like him anymore. It's because of what they do with him. When I was saying I want Drew McIntyre to have the title, I wanted him to have it as a heel. Because just for me, I prefer heels because WWE babyfaces kind of are all the same. They win a match, they'll win a title, they'll step out on Raw the next night, and they'll talk about how this has been their dream for so long, and they finally achieved it, and blah, blah, blah. And it's that, like, they're all just pandering cookie cutter babyfaces to me, and that's kind of what they did with Drew. And I looked past it because Drew's just in general, he's such a badass, but now that he dropped the title, he's doing this stuff with the sword. I still like him, and I think he's gonna win. I want him to win, but this isn't my favorite version of Drew McIntyre, is all I'm gonna say. And as far as this feud goes, I think this feud's just been weird. It's been so oddly centered around the sword. I think, like, if it's all around Jinder stole the sword, like, then they did they break the sword or something like that? Yeah, they broke a fake sword or something.
They didn't start around like him not getting a text back or something like that.
Yeah, it's just been this weird, but like the whole sword thing, it's like, and then like a couple matches, they've been like trying to steal the sword back from Drew. It's like, okay, so is the payoff of this feud going to be that Drew lops a guy's head off with the sword? Or is he just going to win the match and hold the sword up? Because he was going to do that either way, because the sword's like his thing now. He was never not going to win the match and hold the sword up. You don't need to make it all silly and have everyone fighting over this sword. So I think Drew's going to win. I think we can all agree that the stipulation that Shanky and Veer are barred from ringside only means they're going to interfere some way, somehow. But yeah, Drew's winning this, no doubt. I like Jinder a lot better now than he was when he was in 3MB, but he's still not very good in the ring. He still can't really work long matches. So I could see this they could stretch this with interferences to probably, I think, 8 or 9 minutes, but I think if they go double digits, they're making a mistake. Because I don't think anyone's really looking forward to this match.
No.
So before I give my on the Alexa Bliss thing, I have a tweet here. It says the merch sales this weekend will be the story when it comes to Lily. merch sales will determine a lot this week, according to my source.
So that's why
she's
they're
gonna
gonna
continue.
that's why they're gonna take a chance at Lily, and I think they're gonna really push that at least tonight.
Oh, the Drew McIntyre thing for me. I actually hate him as a babyface. I think I just don't like his motivations are so dumb now. Like the sword is like the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I also think my prediction for this match is that Jinder Mahal is going to win. No, Drew McIntyre is going to win by DQ because there's someone's going to interfere. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be Jinder Mahal's two stooges. I think it's going to be someone else to set up program for the future. I don't know who that is. I don't know how they're going to interfere, but I feel like that's going to happen because this is just such a stupid thing. Like Drew McIntyre was main eventing.
He was main event.
And also, the not this past episode of SmackDown, because like I said, I didn't see her. Wait, fuck, is he? I'm blanking. Is he on SmackDown or Raw these days? I'm really blanking.
He's on Raw.
Raw. Okay. On this past episode of Raw, the promo he cut after the match was really weird to me when he was like, raise your hand if you think Jinder's gonna win. Now raise your hand if you know Drew's gonna win. To me, that the way that WWE tends to book these things, that usually means Jinder's that's usually gonna mean Jinder's gonna win in some way if they make because this has been a very straightforward feud, and that kind of at just about every turn Drew has embarrassed them and beat them. So I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if Jinder wins. It's just like, why, if you don't have plans for Jinder in the long term and Drew is still your top babyface on Raw, why would you ever beat him? But having said that, they've booked this feud in such a way that it kind of is like, Drew does need to win because he's Drew McIntyre. But if Jinder loses, then what was all of this for? You brought Jinder up from beating people on main event to getting humiliated in this feud. So it's weird for me.
But I think that is a problem, though. They're not gonna do anything with Jinder afterwards. Really, they don't have any ambitions to Jinder. The reason Jinder was partnering with Drew McIntyre, I believe, is just to get Drew to do something. I truly believe he's gonna be back in the main event scene by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's gonna necessarily win, but I think this is just for, hey, Drew McIntyre, he's still a big face. We still want to give him that big moment with the fans. We need to have him on SummerSlam. Let's just have him with Jinder because they are friends, whatever.
I mean, but there's so many other people you can have him fight, and I don't even mind the match. I just hate the storyline about the sword.
I get that, yeah.
They literally had a story fucking Jinder, Drew McIntyre got released. Jinder came back. Jinder won the title. He stuck up for Drew to get Drew a job back. Then Jinder got released. Drew got the title, and they could have built a story on that Drew left Jinder high and dry while Jinder helped him out.
There's a lot of real world things they could have done. I don't know if you guys have seen. There was I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's I've seen it a few times, scrolling through my Instagram feed, that there's a story that Drew, I think it was Drew, was staying with Jinder and his cousin in Jinder's apartment, and there was only one bed, I think, and Drew was like, okay, I'll sleep on the couch. And Jinder was like, no, you're sleeping on the bed. I'll sleep on the couch. I'm paraphrasing. I might be getting some of these details wrong, but it's basically Jinder gave up his own bed for Drew. This is a real life thing that happened, along with their history in 3MB. There's so many better ways you could have incorporated real life into the storyline other than I'm Scottish, here's my sword. I just think I have problems with the match. I think the match is going to be boring because we saw Jinder on weekly TV as the champion, and there was, name one match he had that was good. I think none of them were that good.
Styles.
We know why that match was good though.
Yeah.
But again, those are two guys that just are known for being able to pull good matches with anybody. But I don't know. I just don't. Jinder's just not a very good worker. Drew's a good worker. Maybe Drew can make something out of nothing here, but I just think this match is going to be bad. And I think it's going to be really. I think it's going to be really overbooked with the interferences that are definitely going to happen.
I have a question: is Heath Slater still signed with Impact?
He's not showing up.
Could you imagine?
I would like that, but I'm pretty sure he is signed with Impact. the fight.
Damn
I don't
it.
watch Impact because who watches Impact?
I mean, Impact, we already have.
I love watching every week when they post when people post the ratings of all the major shows: Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, and Impact. You see like SmackDown like 1.8 million, Raw 1.4 million, and you get like 800,000. And then you get to Impact. Like Impact grew their audience by like 10%, and they were up to 120,000. It's like, oh, Impact, god damn it, like knock it off.
Impact. Oh well. What's next?
But anyway, yeah. So next, going down the card for me, we have the United States Championship match, which is Sheamus versus Damian Priest.
Wait. You said we're gonna have it ordered interest. You're more interested in the SmackDown.
They kind of for me, they kind of towards the middle, like number like 3 through like 7 or 8 are kind of the same for me.
Okay. I get that.
I'll go first on this one. I'm very not interested in this match. One thing, that Damian Priest is feuding with the Miz and Morrison and Sheamus at the same time. Like, what is happening? Like, if you had a triple threat match, then you got my attention because you could put Morrison, who's doing the best work of his career in my opinion.
It's great.
Versus Damian Priest, up and comer, and then versus Sheamus, the champion. Sheamus, I freaking love Sheamus.
He's good.
But I think Damian Priest is winning this match. I think he's winning clean. He needs to win clean. He needs to go over. He needs to get that little bump in the United States Championship. I feel like it would be a good title for him to hold.
Okay, I think it's gonna be an overbooked mess. I think Miz is gonna roll down with this probably wheelchair. I don't know.
He walks now.
Oh yeah, true. He's gonna walk there. Morrison's gonna be there with his strip stick, distracting Priest. But I would really like to see something like they did in WrestleMania again with Sheamus and I believe it was Matt Riddle, where just one moment to switch, Sheamus just beats the hell out of him and finishes it. I would have liked to see that with him tonight with Priest. I'm not sure what plans they have for Priest. I'm guessing the dripstick stuff is still gonna stick. I think Logan Paul is gonna be on Monday with the what's the show called? Dripsticks show
on Moist TV.
He's gonna be on Moist TV.
I love that.
I'm guessing it's gonna set up a new feud, or Priest is gonna come and get his revenge or whatever happens tonight. So I'm gonna say Sheamus on this one. I think they still have a lot of potential with him. I don't know who goes against next. Maybe Ricochet, but I will say Sheamus for this one.
Yeah. So I'm just to get my prediction out of the way. I do think it's gonna be Damian Priest because I think it has to be Damian Priest because they've gotten WWE's gotten way too much. I mean, deservedly so, but they've gotten way too much crap about misusing their NXT call-ups to not give Damian Priest the title. I mean, they've already kind of not ruined his main roster call-up because his WrestleMania stuff with Bad Bunny was pretty over, but they've just keeping this Miz and Morrison feud going on we're now in like month 7 of this feud or something.
It's long.
Just give the guy something like this, at least for me, Damian Priest was like my most hyped NXT call-up because I just loved the guy. I loved him when he was Punishment Martinez on the Indies. I was really excited when he got on the main roster and he was doing so well. And he looks like a star. Like push the guy like anything, and he works like a star. But I'm gonna agree with Cody in that I love Sheamus. I really love Sheamus. I love the work he's been doing. I think this is, as far as like him working more stiff, I think is awesome. And it just suits him better to be a stiff worker because he's definitely not a fluid worker and he's not doing anything off the ropes. So I think he has to be working more stiff. But I just think, and I don't necessarily want Sheamus to drop the title, but because this is his opponent, I think Damian Priest, he has to win. And I agree with Dom that there might be some overbooking with some Miz and Morrison interferences, but I also think they planted the seeds of the breakup on Moist TV on Monday. So I want to say that like they'd be smart to maybe keep them away from this match so they can just kind of separate these two groups. But I could also see like Miz did lose to Damian Priest on Monday. I could see Miz trying to interfere, but then I could see Johnny stopping him to further the dissension. But I do think any way you cut it, I think he's going to win, and I think he has to win. If he doesn't win, this is just you like, what was it, like a month ago you beat Karrion Kross on free TV to Jeff Hardy. Don't do it. Don't fuck up another one. It's just
Hey,
ridiculous.
Jeff Hardy's a legend, okay? Don't disrespect Jeff
Yeah,
Hardy.
but he shouldn't be being.
He was
agree.
jobbing. He jobbed to Jinder on main event, and then he beat Karrion Kross on Raw in 2 minutes.
I have a
Dirty.
question. I have a question for you guys, though. Who is Damian Priest gonna feud with next if he does win?
I mean, it's a mid-card title. And this is another reason I think Damian Priest is going to win, is if you look at these really hyped NXT call-ups, they all get a shot. Like the first title they get is always either the Intercontinental Championship or the United States Championship. And I think that's kind of, that's how they test their appeal to the main roster fans, is they put a mid-card title on them. But the thing is, they clearly don't care too much about the booking of these mid-card titles. So I think he's going to win. And I unfortunately think he's going to have a very poorly booked, very boring run with the title, and it doesn't really matter. I don't really have any. I mean, you know what they're going to do if he wins? It's probably going to be Miz that challenges him first, because they're probably not done with it. They're not fully done with. They haven't done anything to really close the book on this feud. So I think he wins. Miz probably gets a title shot. That'd be my guess.
I agree. I think it's going to be the Miz, but this is going to be the Miz and John Morrison. They're both going to want a shot, and it's going to end up dissension, like you said, and they're gonna end up having a triple threat match at
Do you guys think Keith Lee's gonna come back anytime soon and maybe be involved in that?
I mean, Keith Lee's lost 2 of the last 3 matches he's been on TV. I don't think he's amazing, but
I'm just baffled. Like, in my opinion, he had a match on SmackDown before it aired. If I was WWE, I would just put him in the main event scene right away. I don't know about you guys. I just don't understand.
I mean, WWE is the worst booking company.
I just don't understand what they do.
That's and that's all Vince McMahon. There was earlier in the year, like right when very recently after Keith Lee got called up to the main roster, was when Vince McMahon did his whole, like, I hate the way the big men in this company work, and he's going to send them all back to the Performance Center. And I think a lot of that was centered around he doesn't like the way Keith Lee works, which makes sense when you think of the big men that Vince McMahon has kind of molded in WWE history. You know, he had Andre the Giant. He did a lot of work with the Big Show. None of those guys were doing moonsaults like Keith Lee does. It's not the way Vince McMahon likes his big men. He likes them like Andre, like the Big Show, like Omos. They're going to stay on the ground and they're just going to be bigger and stronger than you. That's just not how Keith Lee works. So I think while Keith Lee is amazing, I think he's in the wrong company to be working the way he wants to work, because the man up top doesn't like the way he works for his size.
Please release Keith Lee and have him go to AEW. Thank you. That's all I ask. He'll be perfect. Amazing. Oh.
All right, let's get to the next one.
And so next match, speaking of Omos, and this is a match that I think could be a pre-show match, but I don't necessarily think it will be because of their opponents. It's the Raw Tag Team Championship, AJ Styles and Omos versus RK Bro.
What about the SmackDown one?
What?
Did we all forget about the SmackDown tag team?
Well, I guess Eric likes the SmackDown tag team
loves
better.
the SmackDown.
I just think the SmackDown tag match is gonna be a better match.
Oh, okay.
Like, I guess I'll start, since I just don't. Obviously, RK Bro is awesome. They're the most over thing on Raw.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna win the match, because it's like, why would you have this match and throw it together last minute if they're not gonna win? So I think RK Bro is gonna win. I'm bored of AJ and Omos. I think they've really mismanaged Omos. And I mean, they've done the classic WWE booking of a big man where you can hit him a lot and he'll never get off his feet. And I think that's good. That's how you use him. But I think he's been very overexposed as far as he's not a very good worker. So I'm just not very invested in Omos. I love AJ, obviously. I just think they've been, if you watch their matches, they almost get booked like a babyface team, because AJ gets his ass kicked a lot of the time and then makes the hot tag to Omos, who cleans house. And that's how you book a babyface team. They're not being booked like a heel team. I don't know. I know I'm probably in the minority, because a lot of people love AJ and Omos. I don't. So I think RK Bro is gonna win. But yeah, I'm just not very excited for this one.
So they're basically being booked like Jesse and Festus back in 2008. Like Jesse would get beat up and Festus would
Biscuits and gravy.
biscuits and gravy. I'll disagree. I like Amos a lot. I think they have. If you're Vince McMahon, you can either stick him in NXT with a bunch of other big guys. Apparently, they want to reform NXT, have a bunch of other big guys come up. But obviously, he's the Braun Strowman replacement. And remember, Braun Strowman wasn't a faction. He was in tag teams action. And it's in the beginning, he skipped NXT. And I think they're doing the same with Amos, putting him with AJ. Automatically, you're gonna be intrigued because it's AJ Styles. He's a legend. Top 10 wrestler of all time, in my opinion. But that's just another whole discussion. I agree with you, Eric. They are RK Bro. As much as I don't find the appeal for Riddle, I can't deny he has been very over. Randy is one of the smoothest workers in the business. They have been the best thing in Raw, hands down. That's why they're putting it in the main event scene for Raw. And I think I had a bold prediction. I talked to Cody about this. I think Randy Orton's gonna turn on like Riddle and start a feud there.
It's way too early for that, in my opinion.
But it would just be a big surprise, honestly. I can see Vince McMahon waking up this morning and be like, Orton, you're gonna turn heel against Riddle. And he's gonna be the biggest babyface. Some dumb shit like that, honestly. But that's just a bold prediction. I still think that RK-Bro is gonna win. And AJ's gonna take the pin.
Well, yeah. My opinion is the greatest wrestler in the world, Matthew Riddle, is going. No, RK Bro's gonna win. I'm sick of this AJ Omos thing. I want AJ to be his own man again. I want him to go into singles competition again. I'm sick of it. RK Bro wins. They do the double RKO to Omos. They pin Omos for the first time.
No way. No way.
That's my prediction.
That's bold. That's bold.
No, that's even more bold than my prediction.
That is. I mean, for me, the only thing I'm really invested in about this match at all is the Randy and AJ interplay. I like watching those two in the ring because they're so good together. And I'm dreading the inevitable Amos and Matt Riddle interplay because don't like Matt Riddle's gimmick at all. Hate it, but I can't deny that he can work. He can work some. He has the background. He's a shooter. He can have a good match. My thing, and this goes back to more problems I have with Amos, is like that's such a styles clash. No pun intended. That's such a styles clash. And Amos just can't really work with anybody, especially not Matt Riddle, because Matt Riddle's a striker. And everything Amos is going to be doing is kind of grabbing and throwing and slamming. It's not going to work. I think it's going to look really awkward. But yeah, Dom, your bold prediction was it? You said that Randy is going to turn on Riddle. Did you?
He's going to turn on Riddle.
That's not. I think eventually. Eventually,
yes. The championships, and it's going to be like, oh, we're tag team championships, but I still hate your guts. Maybe it's going to be like a.
I think eventually that'll happen, but they've been so hyped. The crowd loves those guys together.
They're going to fight at WrestleMania. They're going to fight at WrestleMania. That's my prediction.
Yeah, they're going to Randy will turn on him eventually. But I think they need some time. As much as I don't like Matt Riddle's gimmick, it's over. Like there's an audience for that, and the audience loves it. So they need some time for this to mature.
Yeah, I guess it is a safe booking. I think for WrestleMania, it just depends what they do tonight. I think it's gonna tell us how long they're gonna book that storyline.
Plus, the other thing is, the crowd doesn't really react AJ and Amos as not especially for Amos. Like when Amos first stepped in the ring, there was all this kind of intrigue around like, what can this guy do? And then it's just been quickly he's been so quickly exposed for not being that great of a worker, which it's not necessarily it's not necessarily through.
I think Amos could be a lot worse. A man named Great Khali was in the main event card
Okay,
for
yeah.
a long
Yeah.
time. He's much more mobile than
course.
Great Khali.
But
Him-
I also think when I was a kid, I feared the Great Khali. He
you
was
don't fear
scary.
Almas?
No.
Well, you're not a kid anymore.
But I also don't think other people fear him either.
I don't know. I can ask my
like
sister.
he's not. He's like I feel like Great Khali was more of he could do more things to like attack someone. Like it feels like Omos is a lot slower. He's just
and I think so. I mean, like he hasn't been taken off his feet yet, which is good, and that's classic WWE big man booking is you can hit me, but I'll never fall. But I think he's been staggered too many times for my taste. I think like when you chop him or when you hit him with like a drop kick or something, I think he literally
like you go
just
like
needs to
this
stand there
if he doesn't move. He moves when he gets hit.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing. It's like you're taking away a lot of the kind of, with lack of a better term, you're taking away a lot of the mystique from your giant when even though he's not falling, he's getting staggered by these things. And
what do you like about his?
I think.
Wait, question. Real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. What do you think of his promo work though?
Terrible.
What? No. Am I the only person who like is intrigued by Almas' potential?
And here's the other thing.
Potential,
no, he has potential. He definitely has potential. But here's the other thing. It takes away from the intrigue of your big man when you make your big man talk. Was not like one of the things that made the big men so scary is that they wouldn't talk at all. And when they would, they'd say one or two words. And it would just terrify you.
The Great Khali talked. He just didn't talk.
Like this might be okay, but yeah, Great Khali was just a terrifying human being. Though.
Good point.
But like, this is going to sound very cavemanish. But I think big men shouldn't like. I'm not going to say that. That would have been stupid. I was going to say big men shouldn't be speaking complete sentences, but like, but another thing, what makes and Omos, a lot of it is through no fault of his own, because obviously it like just physically when you're 7'3", it's harder to move around. It's just physically it's harder to move around when you're 7'3". So a lot of his when I say he's been exposed for not being a very good worker, it's not necessarily his fault because it's harder for him.
But
it's also
you go. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say a big problem, and it's not for him. It's more of an indictment of the state of the WWE fan. Is it's hard to have a believable big monster when the show is so obviously fake. Like when Cody, you were saying you feared the Great Khali. I don't think kids fear Omos, not because he's not a scary person. He's big and he's strong, and he's a scary person. But like when you're on a show that's comedy and just completely not even pretending to be legitimate, how can you fear anybody? Do kids that saw Avengers fear Thanos? No, because they know it's fake. And that's what I think it is with Omos. They see WWE, they know what WWE is fake. So they know this isn't actually who Omos is.
I also think that I also fear Great Khali because the first night he was there, he knocked out the Undertaker cold. Like Omos is just AJ's security guard for a little while. Like Braun Strowman immediately did something that when he debuted under Great Khali. Like there's just the way they booked him to start off. I don't think was as great as it could have been.
They tried to do a Braun Strowman replacement. It was pretty bad. Braun Strowman, he was mobile. He was a great worker. He got into his own form. Kids feared him because my sister actually feared him. So I know kids feared him. I just don't understand why they would release the guy, especially after. Didn't he have a championship match before he got released?
He did. I'm pretty sure he had a title match like a week or something before he got released.
They're lucky that the Braun Strowman doesn't just hop to AEW because. Oh,
I didn't really like Braun Strowman as much.
He's a mobile big man.
He's not huge though. He's not Omos.
He's not Omos, but he's like.
I wouldn't be surprised if they brought Braun Strowman back, to be honest, because I think a lot because they the big word around a lot of their releases has been budget cuts, and Braun Strowman had a really big contract, so I think the release wasn't because they didn't like Braun Strowman's work necessarily, as much as I think it was they needed to clear that contract. But I think I've been reading that I haven't read up on this in a while, but at one point a couple weeks ago, I was reading that they're talking about bringing Braun back, and I think they'd probably just do that at a cheaper contract.
I can see him interfering with Drew McIntyre, costing him the
title.
That'd be cool.
He runs around the ring and like knocks over the goons of Jinder Mahal.
I also don't think the budget cut thing's a real thing. You're like WWE.
Of course not.
I mean, aren't they trying to look to sell?
Peacock just paid you like $1 billion.
The Fox deal was like $1 billion, wasn't it?
But I think what they realized though is that when AEW started, they were signing all their guys they were trying to lock up for big, expensive contracts so that Tony Khan couldn't wave money in their face and get them to leave. And I think now they're realizing they didn't need to do that, because even though AEW is like, they are competitive, and especially now they're competitive, they're realizing they didn't necessarily need to do that. So like shit, now we have all these huge contracts that we didn't need to have. So I do think that's what they mean by budget cuts. They just don't want to say it. Like, we're releasing you because we jumped the gun. But that's neither here nor there. Let's we can keep moving down the card. Dom, you've been giving me shit for not bringing this match up, so it's actually the next one. This is the one. This is the, if there is a pre-show match, this is one of them. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, the Usos versus the Mysterios. Dom, I'll let you go first. Dom, you clearly have some thoughts on this match.
I'm sorry, my mom just walked in.
I'll go first, Tom, just mute. So Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio versus Usos. So I would love that this feud would end and never happen again. Because I'm sick of watching every SmackDown. It's 1 versus 1, 1 versus 1, 1 versus 1. And they've done the rematch twice, I think, already. I'm done watching it. Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio are like hinting at breaking up, but I don't think they will. I mean, like, it would be pointless to not do that at a WrestleMania match. That's like father versus son. Has that ever happened before? I mean, I can't remember one. But I say the Usos win, but I couldn't tell you who the Usos face next because I don't know if there's any real competition for them.
Well, they have the Street Profits and they have the Gable Academy, so...
No, but the Alpha Academy is heels.
Alpha, maybe.
The heel versus heels?
They
Oh, this is a heel. There's no one.
I mean, they can still do heel versus heel. It's not going to be good.
Yeah, but I don't think, like, if you want to make the bloodline even, like, stronger, you're not going to have a heel versus heel team. You're going to have all faces.
Have they feuded with the Street Profits?
After the Street Profits. I mean, I'm sick of seeing the Street Profits.
I'm too, but, like, what else is there? Like, the WWE's tag division is, it's lacking, obviously.
But that's the good thing about not knowing who's next is because WWE doesn't care. They don't give a shit about their tag division. Like, they really don't. That's why they gave it the title to, like, they'll throw 2 random people together, like Ziggler and Rude, which is an awesome pairing. Fucking love that pairing. But, like, that's why that's half their tag division is 2 random singles competitors they're throwing into a tag match. They don't care.
I want Baron Corbin to team up with somebody.
Well, I guess the SmackDown, there's a SmackDown draft. I mean, the draft is coming up in September, so
that's true.
I guess you could draft. But I think the Usos winning. I don't see a point in the Usos losing this match. It'd just be very dumb.
So with the draft, do you think people they're just gonna hold on with the big feud setting up and just wait till the draft happens, or?
I mean, don't they always? They're just running rematches back.
I guess. So I guess they'll just continue the feuds until the draft.
I mean,
about this match, I really don't think. I mean, Ray and Dom will break up. I don't think it will be tonight. I think it's gonna be like them struggling again. Somebody's gonna cost in a match. Usos are going to win. It's gonna be a pre-match show match, and they're gonna break up in SmackDown probably with more TV time, because I don't think people not. Unless you're a diehard WWE fan, you don't really watch the pre-show matches, so I don't think they would do anything big there. So, Usos are gonna win. It's gonna be the fall of Ray or Dom. They're gonna yell at each other. It's gonna continue on SmackDown.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, Dom. This is why I understand that the feud's not very good, and I'll justify myself as ordering it number 5 instead of where I think you'd put it probably like number 2. Is I think the match itself is going to be good because I love the Usos as a team. I think they're really good. I think their matches with the New Day in what was it 2018 or something when they had that feud. I think those were some of the best tag matches that WWE has had in a long time. And obviously Rey Mysterio is a great worker. So I think any interplay that Rey has with either of the Usos, I think is going to be fun. I think there's going to be some really cool double team moves by both teams, because obviously Jimmy and Jay have the chemistry. Rey and Dominic are luchadors. They can do a lot of high spot stuff. So that all the interplay, I think, is going to be fun. I think the match is going to be fun. I think this is one they could give 10 to 12 minutes on the pre-show just to kind of get the crowd hot. Usos are going to win, obviously. The Bloodline's not. I think the Bloodline just needs to stay strong for a long, long time. Here's my problem, and it's like what Cody said. I not only want this feud to be over, I want the Mysterios to just be done. I think like it was all novel when with Rey and Dominic teaming up. And the novelty's worn off the more you realize that Dominic's not very good and should be in NXT. Like the more I think I understand why they think bringing him up straight to the main roster would be a good idea, and that you'd think that he'd get massively over, probably on the heels of the Eddie Guerrero Rey Mysterio feud for Dominic thing. They need to realize, and the reason that didn't work is because it's a different crowd now. It's a different set of fans, and everyone, like, the veil is completely brought off the business to where if you had the same exact feud between Eddie and Rey for Dom now, people would say it's stupid because of the state of the business. So I just think I just don't see a reason for Dominic Mysterio to be on the main roster. He clearly has a lot of polishing up to do. And yeah, I think that the novelty completely wore off of the father-son pairing. And I actually didn't see, like I said, I didn't see this recent episode of SmackDown, so I didn't see where Dom apparently cost Rey the match or whatever happened. So I can't really speak to the potential breakup, but please let it happen. I would love it.
I will say, as I watched SmackDown, the Rey and Jey Uso match was probably the best match on the card. It was a very good match. I also do think that Dominic has been exposed as of late with fans coming back, that he is not very entertainer-like, I guess is the word. He's not meant for crowds yet, I guess, or that big of a crowd. So
it reminded me a lot of Jason Jordan when he got this is Kurt Angle's son, and that's how he was supposed to get over. This is Rey Mysterio, and then he got booed out of the building. People hated him. I was waiting for crowds to come back because I thought Dominic Mysterio was going to get booed out of every building he would go into.
Oh, you guys are too harsh on that guy.
He's a nice kid. Do I have to preface it by saying?
I also hate his first name.
It's spelled the exact same way, so I relate to him. But I think Dominic, he needs polishment. I think he already has a lot of progress done. When he started first pro wrestling, 2018. His very first match was literally last year SummerSlam. This is literally his very first match. They're gonna continue with him. I agree. They should stick him in NXT. He's big enough. They have a lot of luchador storylines going on there, so he would fit perfectly. Bold prediction: they're gonna feud. Rey's gonna win and send his son to NXT and be like, "Hey, you need to check yourself. Get your ass down there."
Wait, you think that Rey and Dom's gonna win, or
no? They're gonna after the Usos win. When Rey and Dom feud, I think Rey's gonna win and send Dom to NXT. Well, that's what I would like to see.
Here's the thing about Dominic Mysterio is he's as far as a WWE talent, he's not very good. He's really green. But Dom, you said he's only been wrestling since 2018. For his experience, he's pretty fucking good for somebody that's only been doing it a few years. But that's the problem. He's only been doing it a few years, and when you're going to be on national television, good for 3 years isn't good enough. So I think I want him in NXT, and I don't really even want him on NXT TV for a while because that's still national television. You have to be polished. There's just so many things that he just needs to improve on that will come. But I don't think the fans want to watch him learn these things on the fly.
He's gonna be he's gonna have a Jungle Boy glow up, I believe, in the next few years. That's really what I think is gonna happen.
I hope so. Oh, but anyway, moving right along. So we are halfway through the card. We got 5 matches left.
We've been here for an hour.
Here's one that I think this is going to be. I think the match is going to be good. The reason that I have this at number 6 is because I think the feud kind of took a shit turn on. I watched SmackDown highlights, so I saw this feud take kind of a shit turn, and I'm really sick of one of the competitors in it. It's Edge versus Seth Rollins,
Who are you
and
sick
I'm sick of Seth, man.
Oh, I love Seth.
The
I
drip
love
god,
Seth.
the drip god. Come on.
Oh,
go.
I hate. I've been sick of Seth for a long. I'll preface it by saying he's of course one of the probably like might be the best worker in WWE. He's a great wrestler. I hated the Monday Night Messiah gimmick. I hate his promos and this feud. He got covered in black sludge last night. Like, come on, can we skip to this? Like, come on. Like, my prediction for this match is Edge wins. Still, I know I'm in the minority. A lot of people love Seth. I don't. I've been really happy to not see him in the title picture, and a win here puts him in the title picture. I don't want that. I think Edge is going to win. I could see Seth winning, but I think Edge... Has Edge picked up a pay-per-view win since he returned at Royal Rumble? I don't think so. No, he beat Randy. He beat Randy.
Yeah.
He beat Randy.
That was last year.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, last year's Rumble. Yeah.
No, he hasn't. Since last year's Rumble, yeah. But when he won, no, he hasn't won since the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he needs a win. There's no way around it. He needs a pay-per-view win. And is Seth Rollins the best choice to do the job? As much as I want to say yes, because I want to see him lose, when it comes to who are their best workers, who's going to draw the most money, the most viewers, and who just like shouldn't be taking clean pinfall losses, I think Seth's one of those people that shouldn't be taking too many clean pinfall losses because he's clearly one of the next in line for a Universal Championship picture or a Universal title shot. So I think
but who should be taking the clean win though?
Edge needs to win. I'm just saying that like no matter who he's against, Edge needs to win at this pay-per-view. Yeah. It's just I don't know if Seth would have been my choice, especially coming out of Money in the Bank when he was hyping himself up as being like the next, like, I deserve a title shot. So the next thing you're going to do with him is have him lose on a pay-per-view. I don't think it's the right choice. I don't think it's the right choice to have him against Edge. But I think Edge, if this is going to be the match, Edge beating him is the result you need to have.
I agree with that. The thing about it is you have Edge, like you mentioned, he needs a win. He is over. Fans are clamoring to see him, and we haven't seen him in years. It's still surreal that Edge is wrestling in 2021 after him retiring like 10 years ago, a whole decade. It's crazy to think about the parallels between 2021 and 2011, which I won't get into much here now. But the question is, you said you don't want Seth to drop or lose against. He wouldn't be the right person to lose against Edge. But who would be the person to lose against Edge? Because let's say he is against, I don't know, Cesaro. People will be pissed, especially.
I was actually going to say Cesaro. Look, people are going to be pissed, sure, but Cesaro is going to get a great match out of him at the very least. And
Seth will too, though.
Based on his positioning, based on Cesaro's positioning on the roster, it's Cesaro's not. What momentum does Cesaro have that's going to be derailed by a loss? I think Cesaro would have been if Edge was more, because Edge is kind of he's a baby face, but he's kind of like a tweener in this feud because he's being very serious and some of his words are very heelish.
He's always.
I think if he was more on the heel side of things, I think Cesaro would have been a great opponent for him.
Cesaro's hurt right now, so he's
okay.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Okay, bad comparison then. But let's say something.
But I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like Edge and Seth Rollins have all this history that's like, WWE never thought they were gonna have to go back 10
years. That's what
I
hate about WWE.
7 years and be like, remember when I almost killed you because I was standing on your neck? But then they can call back to it, and it's like, I think it's pretty good. I think Edge is gonna win. I think this would probably be one of the best matches of the night, just because Seth Rollins is a great worker. Edge can go there when he needs to. Edge isn't no scrub. I think Edge is very good for not having wrestled in 10 years.
Yeah.
So I see Edge going over.
The thing about Edge and Seth, and I don't like this. A lot of like WWE fanboy would be like, oh, it's long-term booking. No, it's accidental booking. Like you just do so much crap, random crap, that you just pick up on random crap when you do it again 10 years later. So it's not long-term booking. It's just an accidental accident, I would like to say. Edge will win. I really want to see a Brood Edge tonight. He hinted at it yesterday. That would be epic. Seth Rollins just ready, all in white. He's gonna have a great little costume on, outfit on, ring gear. His ring gear is gonna be stunning because Seth Rollins is the drip god, of course. And I wanted to see Edge come with an oversized white vest with a little goblet of blood. Maybe Gangrel is gonna be in the back, laughing his ass off with the Brood. Oh, I mean, this is gonna be Edge's last one of his career, probably. So why not have those callbacks to things he did earlier?
Dom, you keep cutting out for me, so I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, let me repeat myself. So basically, I'm saying is, I want to see Brood Edge tonight. I want to see the callbacks. This is probably Edge's last run of his career. Have those Edge callbacks with the Brood, a SummerSlam. You have to at least try to counter what happened last night in AEW, and I think this would be a good direction.
You ain't doing that with Edge. I'm telling you that right now.
I mean, they're gonna have to try, because I don't know. I think Edge wins. It's gonna be a great match. I don't know what's gonna happen afterward with either man.
I think it could go a little too long, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I just matches tend to carry out a little too long.
They can have. I can see it being 20 minutes. Or 18.
This will probably be the longest match on the card. Seth also, Edge has long matches. Seth also has pretty long matches. He and at WrestleMania 33, him and Triple H were the longest match on the card. And it's not an indictment on Seth. Like his match, I'll give him every compliment you can for what he does in the ring. He's really good in the ring. He's technically great. He can do high spots. He can do power moves. I don't know who lays out his matches, but his matches tend to always make sense. And he's in great physical conditioning to where he can work a 25+ minute match. And when you combine that with Edge, who last year had what was the match with Randy Orton, a 45-minute match or something, the greatest wrestling match ever yet.
Something like that.
This is gonna be I think they actually might get saved by Las Vegas saying, hey, we kind of want you guys to shorten the show. That'll probably save them. That might, this will probably still be a long match, but I think that might be where they cut some times. This could go if this match was supposed to go 30 minutes, they could cut it to 20, and that might even make it a better match.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. That's good.
Yeah, so moving right along, and actually, I don't know why I have this match so high. It should be much lower.
Bobby Lashley or Goldberg.
Yeah, it's high for me because I love Bobby Lashley, but then I remember, it's Goldberg. Yeah.
Goldberg.
I'll just start because I have very little to say about it. Lashley's gonna win. Love Bobby Lashley. He's doing the best. He's doing the best work of his career. Him and MVP is gold. I think MVP is a great manager. They did this and it's no coincidence because they had this pairing on Impact back in 2014, 2015. They had this MVP Lashley pairing, and it was awesome. So it's no surprise that they kind of capitalized on that and are doing it again. I think Lashley, he's been presented really strong these last few months, especially starting with the Kofi Kingston squash. He's been booked so strong. And look, say what you want about Goldberg and how he's taking all these opportunities away on these big pay-per-views. It's not his fault he keeps getting asked to come back. What's he going to do? Say no to the payoff? But, this match is going to be 3 or 4 minutes. They're going to keep booking Lashley strong. He's going to squat. Goldberg's going to get a couple. It's going to be the typical Goldberg match since he returned at Survivor Series a few years ago. It's going to be, spear, kick out, maybe another spear. And then Lashley's going to hit a couple moves on him, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be short, sweet. Lashley's going to get over strong. In that sense, I'm going to have no problem with it. It's just that's just not the match that you should be having at one of your biggest pay-per-views of the year. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I swear to God, if Goldberg wins this match,
don't put that energy out there.
I'll tell you right now, this is what's going to happen. This is my prediction. Bobby Lashley's going to win. Bobby Lashley's gonna start like taunting at Goldberg's son. Goldberg's gonna give him the jackhammer. Baron Corbin's gonna come out.
No way.
With the Money in the Bank briefcase.
I hate this.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
then him and Big E's gonna come and start fighting with Baron Corbin.
You better stop with that. You better stop.
No. I think Baron Corbin's going to be involved somehow with the briefcase. But I think he'll call out to the ring, and then as soon as he's about to cash in, Big E will like attack him, and then they'll fight into the crowd and stuff, and then the match will be over.
I just hate it because it makes so much sense for WWE booking.
This is what I like to see, or I think it's gonna happen, and this is without Baron Corbin interference. I'm gonna see if I can precisely lay it out. The match is gonna start. Goldberg's gonna spear him. Bobby Lashley is gonna roll out the ring. He's like, "What the heck?" He's gonna have his big eyes. He's like, "Oh my goodness." He's gonna take a minute to breathe in. They're gonna fight a little bit. I think. I don't think Goldberg will hit a jackhammer. Bobby Lashley will spear him. He'll do his.
That's why he can't. He can't hit the jackhammer. It's too weak now.
Good point. But Bobby's gonna win under 3 minutes. I'll give. I'll say it's gonna be 4 minutes. It's gonna be
Brock at WrestleMania. Him and Brock WrestleMania 33. I think got like 4.5, 5 minutes, and I think that's about the going rate for a Goldberg
I think it's
match.
gonna
be a good match too. That was a good.
I
like
that. Was a good
I
match.
think it's gonna be 4 to 5 minutes. I think it's gonna get longer than we thought. It's gonna be not as quick as the Drew McIntyre match.
I just hope
he doesn't. I hope he doesn't pick up Bobby Lashley for the jackhammer because
he's gonna try. I think he's gonna try.
Kill Bobby Lashley.
I think he's gonna like live.
Break his neck.
I just hope there could easily be an afterbirth, like you said, Cody, with taunting Goldberg, because Goldberg's son has been involved in this feud, which it's going to end and I just hope they don't do anything after the match to take Bobby Lashley's heat away, because it's my biggest pet peeve, not just with WWE. It's probably a bigger pet peeve for me with AEW actually, is they take the heat off of their heels so quick. They can never just keep their heat for any amount of time, and it just as strong as they've booked Lashley in his matches, it's just I think they overlook how much damage that does to their credibility when you just take their heat away instantly. Like to go back to AEW, I think it's a way bigger problem than AEW, because like look at how the Pinnacle is absolutely nothing right now. It's because they came in hot when MJF's like, here, like this is my faction, we're gonna beat the living shit out of you. And then the next week they have MJF cuts a really awesome promo, and then the next week the Inner Circle beats the shit out of them, flushes MJF's head down a toilet, dumps champagne on him. It's like, okay, that was fun. Like now they're done. Like I get you want intrigue for the feud, but now people want to see a match, but the Pinnacle looks like shit now. And then it was the same thing. They win Blood and Guts. The next week they come out and they do the fire hose champagne thing. Okay, now you cooled off your heels again. Heels need to keep their heat.
Yeah.
So I'd hate if they do anything to kill Bobby Lashley's heat after the match. I'm just gonna stop myself because I could go on for a long time.
Because they will. The son is gonna be at ringside. The camera's gonna pan on him 100%. That's a bingo card check right there. Honestly, the son will be at ringside. They're gonna pan the camera. MVP's gonna taunt him. It's something's gonna happen like that.
A better way to do it would have it be during the match. Like Lashley lays Goldberg out with something, and then he goes and taunts his son, and then Goldberg blindsides him with a spear or something. That'd be a better way to do it.
I think
let Lashley.
That sounds like a finish, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think just let Lashley keep his heat.
I think his what's his son's Goldberg's son's name?
Who cares?
Okay, whatever. The son is gonna. I think he's gonna. I would love to see remember the Capital Punishment spot with R-Truth and John Cena, with the wall and the drink in the face.
Oh yeah, that wasn't.
I want that.
John Cena's father. That was just.
I know, but it was still funny. I want to see that.
All right, let's move on.
Wait,
Eric, moving on. On the next match, Wait,
Eric, you forgot one match, and we're not gonna get into it until like the very end. You forgot about the 24/7 title match. You know there's gonna be.
Wait, what?
You know
there's a match for that.
There's
an actual build match for the 24/7 title.
100% it's gonna be a 24/7.
Oh no, you're saying there's
championship
going
match.
to be something.
There's gonna be something. There is.
Okay, yeah. Reginald's gonna retain because he's the greatest in the world. Yeah.
Reggie
is he did they officially change his name?
Yeah,
Reginald.
He's Reggie now.
Damn. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Reggie. Okay. 24/7 title. Reggie's gonna win clean because he's the greatest.
Wait. I wanna predict the setting. He's gonna be in the backstage with a bunch of legends. No, it's in Las Vegas. He's gonna gamble.
It's gonna be in a casino.
Yeah, in the casino, he's gonna gamble, and then Tozawa's gonna dress up as the gambler with a little mustache, and then R-Truth is gonna. I'm excited for it. This is what I'm excited for. This is what I'm excited for.
Only you would be this excited for a stupid joke title.
It is not
held by the greatest wrestler in the business.
It's hilarious. You cannot change my mind. The 24/7 championship is needed at Raw. It keeps me alive during the 3-hour show. Without it, I would refuse to watch it.
Anyway, yeah, moving right along. This was my number 1 match, but the stipulation ruined it for me. So now it's number 8 for me, Roman versus Cena.
What? We're not saying
stop. You better stop.
The stipulation ruined it. Because here's the thing: before the stipulation, you could buy that Cena might just win because it's John Cena, and that'd be title number 17. But you put the stipulation that Roman's leaving WWE if he loses. That ruins the whole thing for me. There's no doubt he's winning. If there was ever doubt before, now there's no doubt at all.
You better acknowledge the head of the table, okay?
I am. He's amazing. He's amazing.
You know what I know I'm gonna do? I think John Cena is going to win tonight.
No way.
I think he's gonna win. When does anybody ever say they're leaving WWE and then leave? Didn't Sonya Deville have a leave WWE match and she showed up like 2 months later? This is what's gonna happen.
John Cena had one too, and then he dressed up as like a luchador.
Yeah, Cena's gonna win. Cena's gonna win to break Ric Flair's title. Because Vince does not like Ric Flair right now because his contract. He does not like him right now. So Cena's gonna win, and then they're gonna fight at Madison Square Garden like next month, and Roman's gonna win the title back.
That makes sense. But I'm still saying Roman's gonna win only because Cena winning would be the stupidest thing. And I'm not saying, okay, I love John Cena. I'm not saying this is like a classic like Cena hater. I'm saying this because booking wise, it makes no goddamn sense. Because look, Survivor Series Survivor Series is in 3 months, and that's rumored to be when The Rock's gonna go against Roman. The title needs to be on the line for that, and Roman needs to be still as strong as he's ever been. He can't lose. He can't possibly lose. Here's what I think is going to happen because of that stip. I think that so tell me actually, because I didn't watch SmackDown. How did that stipulation come about?
Roman said, "I'll give you a stipulation. If I win, I win the title. If I lose, I'll leave WWE." And they shook on it. And then Roman Reigns tried to give Cena an attitude adjustment, and Cena rolled him up 1, 2, 3, and then.
That's why he's gonna lose. That's how you know he's gonna lose. Cena got the better on the go home. But then also, here's what I think is gonna happen because of the stip. I think Roman's gonna squash it. This match might go 5 minutes because of that stipulation.
No.
Even when Brock squashed Cena, it still went like 20 minutes.
Okay, fine. It might get time, but I think Roman is, especially since it was Roman's idea, I'll leave WWE. I think he's gonna kick Cena's ass.
Honestly, I'm kind of joking with my Cena prediction, but I really want to see it happen. It's just
I have you written in as predicting Cena is going to win. Do you want me to change that?
No, I'm still saying it.
Okay,
I want to see if Vince is really that petty. To say, hey,
but apparently it wasn't like I read that like I mean it's Vince. Now that I'm about to say this out loud, I'm remembering it's Vince McMahon. I was like, but it was supposedly like a mutual respectful party.
No, I read that Rick asked for his release.
Yeah.
And to show up in another wrestling promotion about a week later, I don't think that's
it wasn't like it was AEW. He showed up at Triple Mania. He didn't show up at fucking AEW.
But if you think about it, he's managing Andrade, who's an AEW superstar.
Right? But
Charlotte's fiance. That's his son-in-law.
It's not gonna. Okay.
Yeah,
First
She
of all,
she no show to house show.
First of all, I don't like the booking of Eric with the card. We should have predicted John Cena and Roman last. You're gonna have either a match that's gonna potentially not happen at all. Talk about
it's
last.
gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Or
Actually
we're
might
gonna
not
have the
be.
worst big title feud, worst booked feud.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. I can defend myself.
Okay.
I can defend myself on that.
You can. We'll see
but
how that.
We'll see.
There. We'll see how that goes. But with Roman and Cena, Roman is the best thing on the best show right now. SmackDown is gonna have a run for his money once CM Punk comes back to AEW. I think AEW is now really hot. They had really some good shows on Dynamite and Rampage, but Roman is the tribal chief. John Cena will acknowledge him tonight. Roman's gonna spear the hell out of him. He's gonna super punch man. It's gonna be a great match. I remember watching their first match, which was No Mercy 2017.
No Mercy. Yeah.
Which was pretty good, but
I didn't like it.
A lot of people thought it was underwhelming. I think they're gonna redeem themselves. It's not gonna go 5 minutes. It's gonna go.
It's because they were both faces. They were both faces in their wrestling, and it wasn't that interesting. Yeah. Other than the promo.
Now it becomes interesting. The added stipulation is dumb. I agree, but I think it's not.
I think it would have been better. I think it would have been better if the stipulation was on Cena. That Cena would leave WWE.
Yeah. This was my top match on the card until this stipulation.
But honestly, is it gonna change anything? Like this is how dumb.
It goes back to the type of wrestling fan that I am. I hate when things get overbooked and you put too much fluff on things. This match didn't need a stipulation. This feud's been amazing as it is. It didn't need any, and the match is between two really great workers. You didn't need to add a stipulation because there was nothing that needed to be added to elevate this match.
I have a question. Do you guys think Vince McMahon booked that because of the potential return of CM Punk like 10 minutes later?
It's worse. It makes it worse if anything.
But
I could see that. I could see that being a reason why they did it. And if it is, I feel really bad for how out of touch they are.
Vince is very out of touch. It's just it gets more obvious as
it's so I don't. I mean, it took Vince so long to make Roman heel, and now they have the best thing. I don't know how you guys will get into it already, but probably the best.
I do think this match will go a long way to determining
Roman is Roman the best world champion of the last 10 years.
I mean,
of the last 10 years.
I mean, CM Punk was a really good champion.
What do you guys think?
I think Roman's the most dominant champion of the past.
Yeah.
No, but what do you guys? But no, that have to be a different topic. But yeah, Roman's gonna.
Yeah, no, we're already over an hour. We should get through these matches.
Yeah. We only have two more.
Okay, I think Roman's gonna win clean. Hopefully.
You got Roman.
And yeah, Roman.
Okay, so the second to last match on my card, and the reason it's this high is because of two of the people in it, and I couldn't give a shit about the third. It's the Raw Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley versus Nikki ASH. So I'm going to defend myself. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, they've had 2 pay-per-view matches or 3 pay-per-view matches. Every pay-per-view match they've had has been the best. Yeah, every pay-per-view match they've had has been the best match on the card. That's going to be the interplay in this match. There's going to be a lot of Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, and I think if Nikki,
one second, best champion match.
Yeah, on the card. Their match at last year's WrestleMania, not the WrestleMania just happened the year before, was not.
36 night 1
for the NXT title. For the NXT title, it was.
I thought that match was amazing. But either way, there's 3 pay-per-view matches have all been amazing.
Okay.
And they're in the match. They're going to have interplay, and their interplay is going to be great because they have great chemistry. And I think Nikki ASH, is going to be. I think they're going to keep her out of the match for the most part. She's obviously going to have to be in the match in some way. So I think Charlotte's going to win. I mean, there's obviously reasons that she might not. Like, she just dropped the thing, and then she no-showed a live a house show to go be backstage at Triple Mania. Maybe there's heat there, but in general, I think Charlotte's going to win because they took away her NXT championships off of her like official title count. So I think she's down to 11 or 12.
I think it's 11.
It's 11. Yeah.
11. So I think they're going to, it's what they've wanted to do from day one. They want her to get to 17 and they want to have her tie or break Ric Flair's record. And the best way to do that is they've been using the Money in the Bank briefcase exactly to fit that agenda. Charlotte has been cashed in on 3 times and pretty quickly ended up winning the title back. Not every time, but she quickly wins the title back a lot of the time when she loses it. So I think this is just gonna be another way to add to her title count. And she's the best female wrestler on Raw. So there's a million. There's
I think there's 2 for a second.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there's too many reasons to give her the title, and there's not enough reasons to not give it to her, especially given that Nikki Ash is a complete joke of a champion. Her reign's already been too long. Like, it's almost, if I was a diehard woman, if I was a female wrestler, like really trying to break into the business, I would be insulted that Nikki Ash is champion. Nikki Cross can be a champion because she was good, but this gimmick doesn't need a title. This is like the Hurricane being world heavyweight champion. It makes no sense.
Let's see where you're going. Dom, do you want to go before I go?
I'll go. This for me, it was the hardest match to predict because this could go a lot of ways. I do think Nikki Ash will retain. Here's the reason why. Vince McMahon is a stubborn old man, and even though the crowd boos at Nikki Ash, they're gonna try to. They're not cheering. They're not cheering.
I don't think they boo.
She's supposed to be the biggest baby face on the women's division in Raw, and she's not getting the cheer she wants. That they want. They brought her in, obviously, for merch sales to get the kids to want the merch, and I think Vince McMahon, even if it doesn't work, he's gonna try again after 1 month. 1 month. I think he's gonna want to try again. He's gonna want more time. He's gonna try to develop it more. I think he has potentially Rhea Ripley here to eat the pin from Nikki Ash. That's what I believe, because I don't think he wants Charlotte to get pinned. But this match is gonna be, I wouldn't say it's gonna be overbooked, but I think it's gonna be a lot of chaos, if that makes sense. And I think Nikki Ash will get some kind of cheap win by a roll up or something like that. It's okay. This I don't know how to feel about this match, guys. The feud itself, it's just so the promos, it's just, I'm not really looking forward to it. The women's division on Raw needs a shakeup. I don't know why. Apparently, Asuka is healthy and she's not doing anything because they don't have anything for her.
I mean, in Asuka's offense, I really would rather not see her.
Asuka's.
I've had too much.
I like to see Asuka. I hate her kabuki gimmick because I can't stand the
hilarious
scream. I hate the screaming. Like,
oh my god.
Okay, so I wanted us all to pick different people on this, but I think Charlotte's also winning. I think Charlotte's going to win solely because of one reason, because CM Punk showed up last night. They need something to come close to that. So I think after the match, Becky Lynch is going to show up. And Becky Lynch and Charlotte have the feud. They're the 2 biggest rivals. So Becky is going to, right after when Charlotte wins, Becky's music's going to hit. Becky's going to challenge for the championship she never lost.
That would be cool.
Good. I like that.
I do. You can keep Rhea strong by not pinning Rhea. Pin Nikki. Who cares? Send her off to superhero.
But they want the merge. The
merch isn't going. The merch isn't going anywhere.
She's not.
But you know they're gonna try.
And the merch sales aren't going to go anywhere just because she loses the title. She's been saying
that's why she's gonna.
She's not even talking herself. She's not even talking herself up as a champion. She's literally saying, while she's holding the belt, I tried my best. Like.
But you know that's what Vince wants.
But then see, and if Nikki Ash does win, this will probably be her only successful title defense because this is not a long-term championship gimmick.
I do agree.
I can see. Here's what I can see.
I agree with that. I agree with
Yeah, here's what I can see. If Nikki Ash is gonna win, it's gonna be like Dom said. It's gonna be something cheap. It's gonna be like Charlotte's gonna have the figure 8 on Rhea, and then Nikki's gonna just jump on Rhea 1, 2, 3 for a pinfall, or it's gonna be like Rhea and Charlotte are gonna somehow destroy each other, and then Nikki's gonna throw the other one out of the ring and then pin. Like those are the only ways that Nikki's gonna win, and like they could very easily happen because she is a new champion. But I just don't think it makes any sense. But I am glad that we all seem to be in agreement that Rhea is not winning the match, which is a shame because I really like Rhea Ripley. I really like Rhea Ripley.
I think Rhea needs a mouthpiece. I think she needs someone to talk for her because I do not like her promo skills.
Put Selena Vega with her?
No, I'm thinking like a guy mouthpiece.
A guy mouthpiece for
like Reggie.
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 Reggie is doing a very important stuff in this 24/7.
I mean, there's people in NXT that know how to talk that they don't really wrestle.
What's his name?
Robert Stone.
Yeah, I was gonna say Robert Stone.
Robert.
He actually wrestled in NXT.
No, but before we head into the last match prediction, I think if Nikki wins, we're gonna see the outcome of her story, because if she wins cheaply,
I mean, WWE has to combat CM Punk in some way. I mean, you can't. But
they don't see them as competition still. Vince McMahon doesn't see them as competition.
You think that's true though? You actually believe that?
I mean, everybody else in the competition does, but Vince McMahon, we have to understand, he's a stubborn old man.
No, Vince McMahon believes that. NXT does not move to Tuesday night to Wednesday nights because of AEW on accident. Yes. They moved it on purpose. They definitely see them as competition.
I think this is but back with the Nikki stuff, I think that if she wins by cheap, she's gonna drop the title at the next pay-per-view before. If she actually, but the other outcome could be she actually wins clean and she has a good win, because her whole story was, hey, I'm not a fluke winner. Here's all the matches, and she's trying to prove to both Rhea and Charlotte and to herself that she is a champion. And so I could very well, even though I don't like it and I agree with the booking, her actually having a legit win and raising the title tonight.
I guess nothing's impossible. Yeah, let's get to the last match. This was my number 2 match for a long time until the stipulation on the Universal title. We had the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks, AKA the best female wrestler in WWE.
No.
And
the world. The world. She's the best wrestler in the world.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, so I'll start. So I think obviously this is my number 1 match. I think this match is going to be really good. The only thing I'm worried about, and I don't know why I didn't think of it until we've been recording, because I might have bumped it down a spot or two, is I'm worried that this match is going to be overbooked because there's been so much interplay between these two and Carmella and Zelina Vega, that I think that there's going to be something done with those 2 ladies tonight where they're going to somehow interfere with the match. Maybe there'll be an afterbirth. I'm a little worried that those 2 are going to get involved and muddy things up. But I think this match is going to be really good. Sasha is obviously, like I just said, I think she's the best female wrestler in WWE, if not the world. I think Bianca Belair has been a really good champion. She's had pretty good matches. I could do without like the whipping people with your own hair. I think that's a little silly. But she's really strong. She's really athletic, and she's had good matches. And Sasha is another one. She's had great matches. She's gotten great matches out of people she hasn't necessarily had business getting great matches out of. So I think this match is going to be really good. I think Bianca is going to end up retaining, but this one's one I was actually going back and forth with quite a bit in my head of who's actually going to win this, because Sasha winning would also make a lot of sense. She just came back. She's super over. She's really good, but I don't think it's quite time to take the title off Bianca. And I think one thing that her title reign needs, and she's been getting a few of them, is high profile wins to kind of legitimize her title reign. And I think this would be enough. Like, she's beaten Bayley obviously, but I think this would be another really, really good one to just legitimize herself as a great champion. So I think Bianca's winning this.
I think there's a good argument for Sasha being the best in-ring competitor. I don't know about best wrestler because you have to have
Best wrestler.
because
Best wrestler.
when I think of best wrestler,
You're
I think
gonna say Britt Baker. I know you are.
no.
She's only
Wait, let me
she's only done it for like
finish.
3 months.
I was gonna bring up Bailey again because Bailey I think has the best character work in WWE women's division, and she has the best mic skills in the women's division. That's just me. Whatever. She's not here now, but Bianca and Sasha gonna have a. I think this is gonna be the match of the night. Very well. I think this is. I think this is gonna be match of the night if I had to pick a match. Belair and Sasha, they're gonna go at it. Unfortunately, the witnesses, aka Selena, I think that's what they call the witnesses. Selena Vega.
I don't think they have a nickname for them.
Are you sure?
I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. I have no idea.
I thought Sasha called her witnesses, but in the contract signing, but I might be wrong. But they're gonna get involved somehow. They're gonna be in ringside. There is maybe like Belair's gonna have her own like female like backup, and they're gonna take care of Selena and what's in Carmella. Belair, I think he's gonna go over. I can't really. This is probably the match. No, it's not the match I'm most excited for because I'm more excited for Cena and Roman. But it's gonna be a great match. I'm excited to see what happens. Belair is over for me, but it's gonna be like very close. It's gonna be like what's the word for it? It's gonna be like it's gonna happen in a blink of an eye. Boom! She hits a finisher. It's over.
Isn't that how wrestling works?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, most of. All right, so I have to say it before. So this match, I don't know if it's gonna happen because
I mean, yeah, that's always. Yeah.
Apparently, there's a rumor that Sasha might not make it to SummerSlam. So if that's the case, then I don't know. Bianca's retaining, obviously. But if the match takes place, I have Sasha going over.
Ooh.
I think Sasha. I like Bianca, but I just think there's nobody can touch Sasha when it comes to in the ring. And I love her as a heel, so it just makes perfect. They need someone they need a real heel woman that can like just take over SmackDown and do the Roman. I would love. So people are talking about Naomi joining the Bloodline. I would love it if Sasha Banks was in the Bloodline. Look, how awesome would that be? Sasha and Roman.
Wouldn't Tamina make more sense?
Yeah, who cares? Paul Heyman's in the Bloodline, and he's a Caucasian fat white guy.
Hey, leave Paul Heyman out of this.
But if Sasha's there, I think Sasha will win. I think it's going to probably be the match of the night. But if Sasha's not there, I see Bianca winning, unless Becky Lynch is the substitute for Sasha, and Becky would win.
But Becky Lynch is, I mean, Sasha is, and Bailey's the forward, and Charlotte is Becky Lynch. So like.
Yeah, but Becky is. They also like keeping couples together, and Becky and Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins is on SmackDown, so I can see it. But that's my prediction. I think Sasha's going to win if she's there. If not, Bianca's going to win.
I actually haven't read about Sasha. Is there a reason why she might not show up?
So she wasn't there last night. And there was a house show. It got canceled, that match, and now they're saying it's in. They don't know if it's going to happen, but. I haven't read it. They promoted it last night like it was going to happen, so I'm on the assumption that it's going to happen.
Yeah, well, that's gonna definitely. I mean, like I said, I could see Sasha winning, and I would not be even the slightest bit upset if Sasha won, because I also really like her. I just think, what's the point of having Bianca take the title off Sasha at WrestleMania if Sasha's just gonna win it right back at the next major pay-per-view? I think this like, obviously Bayley's a high-profile opponent, and it's awesome that she was able to get wins against her, but I think Sasha is the big money opponent that she needs. That like, if she beats Sasha again, now it's like Bianca Belair. She's here and she's for real.
Well, I think it's also because Sasha was planning on taking time off anyways. So
I need to keep up with that kind of stuff.
I don't know why she did, but she was planning on it. And I feel like if she beats Sasha again, then like who's Bianca really gonna face? Like she already lost to Sasha already lost to her twice.
I'm guessing they're gonna switch. I think Rhea Ripley might be going to SmackDown after that.
I mean, there's a draft coming up. There's women on NXT that could come up. There's
yeah, but you know they don't ever push them like that. They don't ever push them.
I mean, isn't Chauncey and
but they're tag team. Shotzi and Tegan. They're tag team.
They've been the tag team champions 3 times.
I don't even want to talk about the women's tag division, to be honest.
Yeah, thank goodness there's no women's tag team championship in this on this.
I don't want to get into it. It's gonna make me upset.
All right, well, that's the card.
That's SummerSlam. But I think one thing that I think we kind of overlooked that's important to talk about is obviously, and we kind of talked about it a little bit when we were billboarding some of the matches, is with CM Punk's return yesterday. There's obviously WWE. They have to do something. If they don't do something at SummerSlam tonight, they have to do something on Raw on Monday to kind of combat that. I know, Cody, you said you think their big thing is going to be, Charlotte wins the title, Becky returns. Is there anything like, let's say, and I was reading that Becky might even be backstage at SummerSlam tonight, which just kind of fuels that fire. And I agree that would be a great thing for them to do. But what is there anything else do you think they could do?
Well,
because sometimes it might not even just be one thing. Like Becky coming back would be a great thing, but it's WWE. They've got so much talent at their disposal that could make a huge splash. They could easily do 2 or 3 things.
I'll say this right now at 3 p.m. on the dot, 8/21/21 on my Twitter, Brock Lesnar is trending. So
yeah. So maybe that's why Lashley's not gonna be able to keep a seat after he beats Goldberg. Maybe Brock's gonna come back.
You think Vince made some phone calls after last night?
I think Vince
you know what? I think he called Brock. I think he called The Undertaker. I think he called Eddie Guerrero, to be honest. I think he called
you seen that meme on Twitter where it's like Stone Cold, come back.
That's the invasion angle. Yep.
Yeah.
But I also do think, what if the Roman Reigns wins against Cena in the main event? Obviously, The Rock's music hits.
Honestly, that's a good prediction.
And it's just a stare down.
Yeah. I mean, if Survivor Series is the plan for them, I think that might be a little early, but obviously CM Punk coming back, they have every right to move that match.
Yeah, but they still have
Survivor Series 2. And the next one's October's pay-per-view is Hell in a Cell, right? Or no, October.
No,
right?
Isn't that
Extreme Rules, from what I know, Extreme Rules is gonna.
October's Clash of Champions.
Well, Extreme Rules is the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, whatever. I don't think if The Rock does come back, I think they definitely have all the right in the world, and it is a smart idea to kind of flex the Roman Rock match from Survivor Series to the probably not the September one, but
Hell in a Cell is October.
Yeah, I think they'd be smart to consider flexing that from Survivor Series to Hell in a Cell.
Wait,
because I think what's next month's pay-per-view?
Didn't they have Hell in a Cell this earlier this year, and that they're gonna have Extreme Rules?
They did. I was a little confused. They actually did have. I'm not confused myself. October. What's September?
No, it's gonna be. I thought it was gonna be Extreme Rules, isn't it?
I know. I think that's isn't that Clash? Isn't it usually Clash?
Yeah, but this year they had Hell in a Cell already, didn't they? Here, go on WWE pay. Just look up WWE pay-per-view, I guess, on Wikipedia.
I did, and it didn't really give me anything.
You sure? Because they usually give.
I'll look it up too.
Extreme
Rules. It's Extreme Rules.
Yeah, so
in September.
Yep.
Yeah, they're switching it up for some reason.
So there's only 2 pay-per-views before Survivor Series. Extreme Rules and Hell in a Cell, and you have to get that angle because the rumor is it's going to be The Rock and Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso and Roman Reigns.
They're gonna have Crown Jewel as a pay-per-view.
Yeah, the rumor I read is that it's gonna be a tag team match.
That's so weird. I think they'd be smart to consider flexing it so that the fans don't have to wait as long and you can return The Rock sooner. But I think you also can't do it at Extreme Rules because you need time to build that feud. I don't think that's not like The Rock returning is not one that you rush.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they never did it in the first place. Remember, he booked the WrestleMania match a year before. So, from what I'm reading, Crown Jewel is going to be in October because
Of course. I mean, that's a prime thing for a wrestler to come back.
yeah.
But also, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Adam Cole in some way.
If they already resigned him.
If he resigns with WWE, I can see him popping up on tonight's show.
Mhm.
I don't know what it would
That'd
be
be cool.
for, because I don't know what it would be for, but Vince has to do something. He has to. And if he doesn't do anything tonight, he just, I don't know. I guess if he's not concerned or,
Mm. Well, any last thoughts before we close this prediction thing up?
I think we're good. We're excited for the
Yeah.
show tonight. I'm ready to
I'm
see.
gonna be taking notes.
Yeah, so
I'm
I'm gonna be taking notes.
we'll,
I love reviewing matches.
we'll do a
So we
recap
might, I don't know if we're gonna
afterwards.
are we gonna do one tomorrow for
We can do one
review,
tomorrow.
or
Well, it's up to you guys.
we have NXT
Yeah, we
tomorrow too. So
I think,
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on how long we want to really film, because we can wait until like Monday and do a review of NXT and SummerSlam, but that's going to be like, that could be like a half a day kind of fucking thing.
yeah, well, maybe we'll just review SmackDown, and then if people want us to review NXT, we'll review NXT.
Yeah. All right, then that will do it for us. SummerSlam is up. We'll do a review with that, and we'll have that to you. Thank you for watching. I have been Dominic. This has been Cody and Eric. All right, take care.